It's a prehistoric landscape in the shadow of Ocean City. Millions of years before the first dinosaur, horseshoe crabs were already crawling through the shoreline sand. And their descendants don't look very different today. Steve Doctor, a coastal biologist with the Maryland Fisheries Service, is leading a spring survey.
These dragonworks are pretty wild, aren't they?
Yeah,
look at this one. Looks like somebody got crazy in here.
It is spawning season, and the setting for this ancient ritual is Skimmer Island, a natural area in the Isle of Wight Bay. The crabs cluster so densely that the only way to count them is to take a series of subsamples, 1 square meter at a time, and extrapolate the total. While horseshoe crabs may be a familiar sight to many vacationers, few know the extent to which they are connected to our everyday lives and to the ecosystem at large.
The horseshoe crab itself is used for bait for conch and eels. When they lay their eggs on the beach, they're food for migrating shorebirds.
And those facts just begin to scratch the surface of their sizable shell.
People are really intrigued by them. I mean, they're a really signature species, and I think that when you are a steward for natural resources, you also have a responsibility to pass on that stewardship to subsequent generations.
To share this marvel of evolution across the state, a program was developed to whisk the crabs far and wide, including to the 5th grade classroom of teacher Eric Jane at Pointers Run Elementary.
When I first started teaching, I always thought it was kind of interesting that, we were so close to the Chesapeake Bay, such a great resource, yet it didn't seem like we were doing as much with it as we could. We went in search of more hands-on programs. And then I came upon the Raising Horseshoe Crab in the Classroom program, and I thought that would be perfect. So over the summer, I go to Annapolis, to the headquarters of the Department of Natural Resources, to pick up horseshoe crab eggs.
A gob of green eggs. Not all will hatch. But over the summer, Eric will monitor the water, a job that he will impart to the students when they arrive to meet their new aquatic classmates.
Did you see the baby yesterday?
Yeah, it was really. See if we can. I thought it was like an alien. I was creeped out at first, actually, but soon I just liked them. They're really cool.
Our students, and I refer to them as our scientists, our horseshoe crab scientists, they come in during recess, usually on Fridays, to test the tanks.
Well, every week we test the tanks for things like ammonia and pH, nitrates, and nitrites.
Test how fit the water is for horseshoe crabs to live in them properly. And for example, like ammonia, it tests the level of solid waste in their tank. And so if it's high, we have to change the water.
This program has been a tremendous success, and I think it's successful because of its hands-on nature, being able to actually raise the horseshoe crabs. I don't have to just tell them about them or here, read this book about them. They get to actually see it and do experiments.
Say hello. You can see why in previous years we've named them Sandy.
Then once a month we try to have what we call a seminar, where we'll have a guest speaker or some kind of investigation. So I know you guys are working on your research projects. Which group is working on horseshoe crabs helping other people? Where's that group?
Uses by humans?
Yeah, uses by humans. Help.
Today, investigation centers around a horseshoe crab blood extract called Limulus amoebocyte lysate, or LAL, a substance so sensitive to invasive bacteria that it's used to test all our intravenous medications to ensure they're not contaminated.
Today, we used horseshoe crab blood, which is used to test different medicines for bacteria. It was really cool because we actually got to test different water to see what happened to the blood. In one cup, there was pure water. In the other cup, there was water that someone swished around their mouth and then spit back out. Yeah, we took it into the pipettes and then we put it into the horseshoe crab blood.
To be like powdery.
Put it all in there, yep.
We learned that the blood clots up when it sees bacteria to like block that bacteria from getting anywhere else in the horseshoe crab's body. So when the saliva was mixed with the blood started to clot up into like this gel formation to like keep the bacteria away.
How are your group's results?
This is our 4th year of raising horseshoe crabs in the classroom. In that time, we've probably had between 60 and 80 students. We've successfully raised and released 47 horseshoe crabs back into the Chesapeake Bay.
Every spring, participating classrooms from around the state meet up to release their mature crabs together. The field day includes 5 stations of horseshoe crab activities. Stacy Epperson, an education specialist with the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, coordinates.
We're at Sandy Point today with several schools to release the horseshoe crabs that they've been raising all year. We had 5 stations, and the kids rotate through those stations, have a fun day, and learn even more about horseshoe crabs.
And you can see this one actually has the tag on it, so if you found her, they are from the wild, they were caught in Ocean City by one of our volunteers. If you found her on a beach, you could call into the Fish and Wildlife Service and let them know that you found her and where you are, and that helps track where they are and where they move.
A Jeopardy-style game gives the students a chance to show off their new expertise.
A medical test that uses horseshoe crab blood.
You should have fishing bait.
Okay, who's going to give it a question?
What is limulus amoebocyte lysate?
And finally, time comes for the fond farewell.
It's pretty calm out there this year, so once you put your hand in the water's going to try and wash them out of your hand. So try and reach down in the water and release them on the ground and then back away.
When I'm teaching my science students, it's always frustrating to have to tell them that, I wish I could take you out to space so we can see, a meteorite or something like that. And any opportunity that I can take to give them a chance to get their hands dirty and explore, I think is the best way to learn. And so that's one of the great things I think about this program.
This is our advice for the horseshoe crabs.
Don't get stepped on.
Don't get caught in traps.
Don't get washed ashore.
Don't be used as bait.
And don't have a sibling.
Stream anytime, anywhere with the free PBS app.